Once upon a time, in a small village nestled deep within the forest, there lived a boy named Lucian. Unlike the other children in the village, Lucian's eyes always carried a profound sadness, as if he bore memories that no one else could comprehend. The villagers whispered that his mother had given birth to him on a stormy night, and when he was born, the sky suddenly lit up, as if a beam from heaven had descended. No one knew about Lucian's father. His mother, a beautiful and gentle woman, always claimed that he was a gift from God, but never spoke further about the truth behind this story. He grew up in solitude, always sensing the strangeness in his connection with the world around him. Chapter 1. Beginnings in Faith. Lucian was raised in faith, always taught by his mother about the fairy tales of deities and the guardian spirits of the village. Every evening, she would tell him stories about the creation of the world, about angels, and about the battles between good and evil. However, one story always left a strong impression on him: the tale of the abandoned child of God. In the legend, a child was born from a secret encounter between God and a beautiful goddess. But when this child reached adulthood, fearing that his offspring would pose a great threat to the natural order, God decided to abandon his child, leaving him to live in suffering and seek his own destiny. Chapter 2. The Mysterious Encounter. One day, during a heavy downpour, as Lucian ventured into the nearby forest to gather herbs for his mother, he suddenly noticed a strange light in the distance. Rushing closer, he discovered an ancient, abandoned temple. The light emanating from it resembled a storm of stars, but strangely, when he entered, everything became eerily silent. Inside the temple, Lucian met an unusual man. He wore a long robe and had eyes that gleamed with boundless wisdom, yet were filled with mystery. The man looked at Lucian deeply, as if he knew all the secrets of his life. "Who are you?" Lucian asked, intrigued. The man smiled, his deep eyes reflecting a sorrow. "You are the abandoned child of God. It is time for you to realize that this life is not by chance. You have a great mission, but you must discover it." Lucian stood stunned, not fully understanding the man's words, but he felt a strange truth, a sensation as if he had known this man for a long time, deep within his heart. Chapter 3. The Adventure Begins. Stepping out of the temple, Lucian felt his body lighter and filled with unusual energy. It seemed that an invisible force had awakened within him, allowing him to see things that others could not. That night, Lucian dreamed of a voice from above. "You must find the secret place of the world. Follow the trail of light, and you will find yourself." The next morning, Lucian decided to leave the village and follow the strange message. He didn't know what he would face, but there was an unexplainable belief that made him unable to abandon this journey. Chapter 4. The Challenges. Throughout his long journey through mountains, forests, and areas filled with magic, Lucian faced numerous harsh challenges. He was attacked by strange creatures, encountered bizarre storms, but in each instance, he realized he could overcome them thanks to a strength he didn't fully understand. One day, he arrived at an abandoned town, seemingly devoid of any survivors. In a dilapidated house, Lucian found an old book detailing the history of an ancient king who had once battled the deities. According to the book, this king was someone who bore the bloodline of God, but was abandoned due to crimes he did not commit. This story sent a chill down Lucian's spine, as it closely resembled what the man in the temple had told him. Chapter 5. The Hidden Truth. Finally, Lucian found an ancient temple where a stone door opened when he placed his hand upon it. Behind the door was a vast, mysterious space where light and darkness intertwined. Standing in the center of the temple, Lucian suddenly felt a great power. It was God, but instead of the majesty and authority he had imagined, he saw a hazy image, eyes filled with pain, gazing at him. "You are my abandoned child," God said, his voice choked. "I created you to bring hope to the world, but I was wrong. You are not the one to be forsaken." Lucian stood still, listening to each of God's words. He realized that he was not an abandoned one. Every challenge he had overcome was part of his destiny, helping him grow and recognize his own strength. Chapter 6. Accepting the Mission. God smiled, his gaze gentler, as if finding peace. Now, you can choose. You can continue to live as an ordinary person, or accept the mission I have given you. Lucian stood in silence, contemplating the choice before him. Finally, he replied, I will accept this mission, not only for myself, but for all those I love. From then on, Lucian became the protector of the world, bearing the divine power that God had bestowed upon him, to fight against darkness and uphold the good values in life. Conclusion. Lucian's story is a reminder that, despite life's hardships and challenges, we all have a unique mission that we must discover and accept. The abandoned child of God not only found himself, but also helped make the world a better place.